Hi guys, you can hardly see me behind my Sansevieria. Thanks for joining me today. A while back, I cut some plantlets off of Sansevieria, a big Sansevieria that I had inside, and I just popped it in water, hoping that it would root, and it did. I kind of forgot about them. I made sure to top off the water every time I watered my plants, and I did a few water changes, but it's been a couple months now, and look guys, they have pretty beautiful roots. They're certainly enough to be planted, and honestly, Sansevieria have succulent leaves, so you could even just pot these cuttings down into the soil without ever rooting them in water. But I thought I'd give them a head start. These look particularly nice as well, and they're very big, robust cuttings. So I'm excited to pot them up right away, and I think I'm going to pot them all together in this pot, and right away it's going to be a big, beautiful plant for me to enjoy. I've pretty much doubled my Sansevieria by doing this, and just so you know, the plant that I cut these off of looks much neater, and I think will be much healthier in the end. And eventually I'll repot that one as well. But for now, we're going to go ahead and pot up these beautiful cuttings. It's, I think it's actually overdue. Look guys, look at that. Already a beautiful, beautiful combination of plants. So I'm just using a nursery pot. I always save, whenever I get a new plant from the nursery, I always save these pots and wash them out and use them for propagations, or in this case, houseplants. So let me go ahead and use some Miracle-Gro potting mix. And you know, you could use cactus and succulent mix as well. But lately I've been going almost 2 weeks between watering my houseplants. So, and I can go even longer if I choose with this one, because they do like to dry out in between. But this is just going to be perfectly fine for the Sansevieria. And like I said, I might be a little more careful with how much I water it, because it is not the succulent mix. But this is a regular mix. You can use it indoors or out, and it's a nice, light, airy mix. So let's go ahead and put it in here. And guys, I just usually buy whatever's a good price at the store. So I like to always have this on hand. I'm going to fill some soil into the bottom. And there's some nice perlite in here. I don't know if they still use peat, but it looks like, you know, a nice loose mix. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. And I've chosen a tall pot because I think it really needs to be stuck way down in there to support the tall structure. Isn't it fun to make new plants, guys? I tell you, I just can't resist. So I have this filled almost halfway. Let's see if that would be good. I actually need a little bit more. It's a little too bit far down in there, because I really don't want to bury it further than this. I do see some roots up here, so I might bury it about up to here, bury the bottom 4 inches. But like I said, I do need it to stand up, so it has to be far enough down in there that it is going to be supported by the walls of the pot. And I'm not really going to move it. I'm going to place it, set it, and forget it right where I want it to be, next to the mother plant it came from. I think this is going to be good. This is about 3/4, and I can kind of tuck those plants in. Oh, they're so pretty. And I think, I didn't bring them down with me, but I think once I finish doing this planting, I'm going to top it all off with rocks and give this base an even more stable setup there, just because these are pretty tall. And I'm just trying to make it so that they're all standing straight up. And I definitely will need some rocks in here for support. But believe it or not, I thought this pot might be a little too small for it. There is still a little bit of room if this plant decides it wants to expand. But honestly, Sansevierias seem to like to be a little bit crowded in their pots. So there we go. I think that looks great. And I'm going to go ahead and backfill on the sides. Kind of tucked those back in there. And I'm holding most of these up. Let me go ahead and tuck the soil around the edges. No matter how neat I try to be, it always makes a mess of my planting space. I hope you guys have a fun plant project planned for today. Even if you have a lot of other things to do, I always feel so good when I start the day in the garden or working with my plants. There we go. And it's cool enough this morning that the air conditioner hasn't turned on, so I don't have that sound to contend with. Just the sound of nature. Yeah, I'm definitely going to need some rocks on top because this is such a light, airy mix. It's not really going to get it in there. So I'm not worried about getting the soil in between the plants. They're all going to be kind of right up next to one another. And once I start watering this plant, all of that soil will fill in the gaps. This is going to be so nice to have a new plant. This plant that I took it from, I don't know, I've had it maybe at 5 years or longer, a long time. So I'm really going to pack this in, guys. Really tucking it down in there. Give it that support that it needs. And then we'll go ahead and water it in. I can even use the water it was in, since it's used to that. Oh, I don't even think I'm going to need rocks. There I was carrying on about how I needed some rocks to hold it up, and look at that. It's done just fine. Just going to tuck that in. I've been able to tamp down that soil so that it supports it. And I think if I don't move it around a whole lot while it's rooting, it's going to work out just fine. And I think I'm done. I've pretty much filled in that soil and pressed it down so there are no air gaps. Any of the air gaps that do remain will be just closed up when I go ahead and water it. So I'm going to use this pitcher of water and just get that in. And the soil, before you water it, does kind of pool up a bit. But that will change once it's been watered a few times. Oh, it's going through. Let me get the dirt off of that. Oh my gosh, this is a gorgeous plant. So now this is very wet, and I am going to let it dry out before I water it again. But this should be enough water in here to keep it happy, maybe at least 2 or 3 weeks. And those roots should spread out and enjoy the new soil, which I think has some fertilizer in it as well. So let's turn the camera around and I'll show you the whole effect. And there it is, all set up next to its mother plant. I had the perfect basket for it. It's the smaller one over here. And those were just the plantlets that I trimmed off of the mother. So look how easy that is, guys. It is so easy. That's one of the reasons I absolutely love Sansevieria plants. But I am delighted with the outcome. I have a big new plant, and I think they look great together. They're so easy. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope that you have some Sansevieria in your collection and that you're having fun with your plants today.